Hello, hello, friends. What's going on? Welcome to I'm Woke. My name is Stormy Calder. In today's video, I'm going to be going through a spiritual mission practice. It's essentially a spiritual PSA on human rights and what we can expect come January. So this stream is jumping onto essentially finish and continue the streamed spiritual message that came through yesterday. That is the energetics and the energy forecast and the energy update that we can expect for December 2024. Now, I want to preface this with a few things. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like sweating a little bit. I also genuinely want to cry because a lot of me really just does not want to be the vessel to deliver this message. But Spirit put me under some pretty intense, what would I call it? Apologies and forgiveness ahead for my energy being a little mixed as well, because I do feel a little disoriented having to deliver this message. Um, Spirit delivered me a ultimatum that they wouldn't describe to me what was going to happen if I didn't deliver the message, but that there were pretty severe consequences. So Spirit, Source, the Akashic Records, the guardians and angelics that work on behalf of the light collectors, the light collective, the collective of light workers in humanity, need spokespeople to be able to translate and transmit the information. For whatever reason, I was chosen as that person today. Um, for you guys to know, I really don't take this lightly. I would rather talk about a lot of other things. And those of you that have been following me know that this is not my typical content. So I'm saying that to you to prepare you to understand the severity or the conflict that I'm going to be talking about is not Stormy's opinion. It is not um, Stormy's want. It is a message that has been passed through me that Spirit asked me to deliver with love and with security and with certainty. So that is what I'm here doing. And again, like apologies ahead. A, if I cry, B, if I get freaked out. I'm very uncomfortable in this territory. I don't like predictive psychic work, and I don't like political psychic work. And that's the position I've been placed in. When I woke up this morning, I got a stream of downloads from my oversoul and from the Akashic Records. Um, and they overrode my desires for the day, and they gave me essentially a template of what needs to be spoken about. So this is some level of this spiritual, a PSA from spirit, from the higher realms, from angelics, from higher light beings that need to get a message across to the people that need to hear it, from that are ready to hear it from me, I suppose. I'm gonna take a deep breath. Also, I'm gonna move the camera because these cords are driving me crazy. Okay, one sec. Well, just move the cords, right? Ugh, I prefer silly content. Okay. If you're new to my world, my name is Stormy Calder. I'm a personal development and spiritual development coach and mentor. I'm a psychic medium, an Akashic Records teacher, and a consciousness expert. And I'm going to be telling you what's going on in January, predictively, which is not a territory, again, that I like to be in. But we're here. So I'll do the work that I've been asked to do. It is 4:44 right now in Pacific time. I just caught that number. What else do I want to say? I do want to tell you guys about my Black Friday announcement before I dive in too deep and get kind of stuck in the mud emotionally. um, so I have the Joyride open for enrollment for Black Friday through Cyber Week, like at least for the next few days. But that link is in the description below. It's 30 days of meditations to help you refocus your mind, um, your mental ability, your mental agility to be able to meditate and focus on what's going well and on the positive side of life so that you can move your momentum away from what I'm going to be talking about in this stream and be able to have emotional stability, and emotional maturity, energetic maturity around understanding that just because we're walking into a pretty severe dark night of the soul doesn't mean that you have to take that on behalf of the collective, and it will feel that way if you're empathic. This meditation album, I channel all of the work that I do, you guys. So all of the programs that I do are channeled as in like I don't know exactly why that had to come through when it did, but it did. And spirit told me after that it is the antidote for what is about to come, especially for Americans, how that impacts the rest of the world. Um, but it is about being able to refocus your mind. It is gentle energy work that creates a habit of refocusing your mental faculty on being able to escape the doom and gloom cycles of emotional behavior that are going to be very, very present across the collective. And refocus your mind on what's going well, what's positive, being able to see and open up to potential and possibility and escape routes, essentially. I can't remember what stream they sent that through with me, but that like in July, we went through escape routes psychically. So this album is a series of 30 meditations. They're like 30 escape routes in the quantum to help you develop the ability to see in between the worlds, to be able to protect your friends and family is what is being told to me. Protect your mind, own your mind, it's very fertile ground, fertile territory. If your mind can be controlled, you can be controlled and manipulated. And we're going to be going into that in this stream. Fortunately, unfortunately, I'm happy to be the bearer of the message. I'm also like, please don't shoot the messenger. This is not a topic I really truly want to discuss. I was given a complete ultimatum by spirit, so I'm doing my work. I'm on my spiritual mission. This is what I have to do. I will do it. Um, they're also telling me, they're like, "Tell them you're happy to do it." I am happy to do it, but I'm also stressed out about it. Like, we can hold this space for all of it, you know? Thanks, Stephanie. I just saw your comment. You sent that out. Oh my gosh, Stephanie. It says 444 is your comment. It's like literally when I said 444. Fours are stable. They're safe. They're home energy. Okay, so ugh, collective PSA. Let me see if there's anything they wanna say ahead of time. They gave me notes. I'm gonna be reading from my phone because I streamed everything through earlier, and it took me the day to, digest the information. Honestly, I was a little nervous about delivering it. I had to digest it. This PSA is to provide you with energetic safety and support to protect you proactively before shit starts to go down. They did say shit starts to go down in the Akashic records. You're being given a first person advantage right now, spiritually, energetically. A lot of this, I don't know if people are speaking about these predictive dynamics across the collective, but I'm being told that the frequency that I'm meant to speak to today is not going to hit the you the channelers, the YouTubers, the psychics until after January. You are getting a preemptive strike, if you will, so that you're getting extra time to prepare. That tends to be my frequency, so I think that's why they're delivering it through me, as I am multiple steps ahead at all times. So we can just thank grace and yeah, and divinity for keeping us up and keeping us ahead of the movements. You're gonna have a little extra time to prep emotionally, essentially. Okay. I am in the Akashic records for you guys to know, and there is a SWAT team right now that's coming through me. So I know when we think of angelics and we think of higher beings, we think of like these really etheric, beautiful light bodies. They are also assassins. They're also badasses. They are also like, if you give us permission, collective, we will haul ass. Um, and take care of you, and they will go to war for us, and they will help us in every way they possibly can. They are not all gentle. Like, of course, they are gentle, loving creatures. They are also warriors. They're also fighters, and they're coming through in that way with me. They're showing me tons of visually, I'm just seeing like machine guns, and these are angelics. So, if that gives you a little precursor as far as the energetics of what is coming with the shadow of the country and the shadow of the collective energy, the collective psyche of the United States is being weaponized. I don't know if I know the specifics of this or if they'll stream it through, but they want you to know that. People that used to be friends, people that you assume are friends, may not be friends. People that were once nice may no longer be nice. They may actually be enemies. There is going to be a wild turn of events as we move forward in time. I actually want to give you guys some preventative, proactive measures right now in hearing this material because, as you know, those of you that know me, I am always reminding you that your power is yours and not to give up your power to anything that you don't believe in. Um, which is also why some of these streams like this are hard for me to mm, want to deliver. Um, so, the first thing I'm going to say is take what resonates, leave the rest. Okay. It's really important that you exercise your own discernment with material like this to know what's for you, what's not, and to discern which part of the message is for you. And there's a reason why spirit's coming through me. It might be just a part of the messages for you or an attitude or something, pick up what you need. Anything that's not for you, don't worry about. Let me think about what else I want to say. They're just like fire at will, Stormy. I'm just gonna kind of roll through some things that are coming through, some of my notes that I took, and a combination of them also channeling in right now, and just kind of run from there. So take what you love, leave the rest. So effectively, I received a prophecy today. I don't often get them at the mass collective level. This was a mass collective prophecy. It is unlike spirit to deliver such a prophecy to me. And it was demanded of me to deliver a public service announcement, and it was called a public service announcement. So, oh, this was part of what I wanted to touch on. I know I have many ascended masters, angelics, and guardians, and much higher light forces that will use me as a prophecy and the prophetic ability, like mine, to actively alter timelines. So, something I want to introduce into your mind. I don't know how literal this all is, but like I said in the December update yesterday, many of the energies that come to me are often not meant to be taken literally. But then again, they're saying 50-50. A lot of the things I read are 50% literal. So, I'm not going to tell you what to think. All right. Any of you that know me know that you need to think for yourself. What I will do is tell you what's coming through, and it's up to you to dictate your own thoughts, your own beliefs, your own actions, your own emotions based off of that. It is possible that this message is coming through to alter future timelines so that they don't actually come into being. Sometimes when spirit delivers message like this, it is to gain access and permission to then create an altercation across the collective because I'm giving initial permission, people listening giving permission, and then it allows the higher forces to move through and fight a war on our behalf that we might not need to fight, should this be an effective timeline strategy, essentially. And or it also could be a timeline that locks in. I don't know. Okay. Typically I'd say I can't tell the future because I don't. I don't like to. Um, I pray that my words give the higher forces the ability to redirect us away from pain and distortion and towards authenticity, freedom of speech, choice, and love. What was told to me this morning by my oversoul was dust that Cheeto. What did they say? Um, dust the Cheeto dust off of your chest. You're going to war. I hope you're ready. I was told this is an energetic war. I don't know how quickly that moves to material, but I was told energetic war. And Oh, this was the I was trying to just read my notes there. There's a lot of I keep seeing on YouTube a lot of higher light collectives, like 8th through 12th dimensional light collectives that are streaming through the collective consciousness, and being delivered by channels are saying, like, "There is no spiritual war, like, that's not real, we're all one, relax." I just wanna remind you guys that they are not human. Those light collectives don't have the experience of being human. They also don't understand territory. They also don't engage with war at that level because at the 12th dimensional level, like, there really is no war. And there is a certain level of disrespect towards human consciousness. So I have had to navigate this a lot in my own spiritual awakening and the larger entity types and bodies that I have channeled. I have had to fight for my human consciousness to be protected. Um, Generally speaking, and I do adore the higher light collectives, but I'm handling this specific frequency when you hear like, "Oh, there's no spiritual war. Oh, we're all one. We are all one," but you really gotta we're in a very dicey territory on this planet right now. It's not really true that there is no spiritual war, not really true. I mean, there is no spiritual war when you go to the 12th dimension, but we're in the 3rd to 5th dimension, and we're dealing with shit down here. So I just wanna create that caveat for you. There is a lot of spiritual bypassing around a lot of the information that is delivered on behalf of channels, from diviners, not because any of them are bad, but because these light collectives just don't understand what it is to be human and cannot explain things to the human perspective. What they do is they deliver the light codes, they deliver the downloads, and they expect the humans, the channels, they're, like, crossing their fingers up there. They're like, "We hope to God the humans are integrated enough where they can translate it out in a human way and not always in a light collective way that's, like, 12th dimensional because it's just not relatable." It's nice, it's pleasant information, but it's not helpful if you're at war. Like, go to war and tell soldiers, like, "You're not at war, we're all one," like, while they're holding their fucking machine guns. And they're like, "There's a line of people trying to attack me." Like, it's very, the way some of these light collectives handle it is unreasonable and unrelatable. I also do channel a lot of light collectives, but it's not my modus operandi right now. Okay. Um, what my guides told me is I'm not here to numb your pain. I am here to tell you what you have to gain if you can maintain your focus, your personal mental focus on a positive attitude when it makes absolutely no sense. I'm gonna try to navigate this the best way I can because I can see I can be a prophet, I am a prophet, but I it's still it's sometimes it's still challenging. It's you know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm reading future timelines, I'm being told and dictated future timelines, but still sometimes, like, until it shows up, until you can see the whole movie, in reality, it just, like, feels very otherworldly, and it's like, "Wait, what is happening?" Um, so if any of it's spotty, that's why. I don't know all the details, I'm not claiming to. Okay. Here's what I was told, again, I'm gonna keep going through my notes and stuff, so just apologies for the weirdness of how I'm navigating this right now, but it is what it is. Alright, so actually, let me tap in first. I'm totally gonna cry. Um, okay, so you guys that have been following me for a while know that I channel on behalf of the collective of light workers on the planet, and then specifically the conscious light workers in the United States. So Um, the Light Collective is being destroyed and dissolved and dismantled, and it's not gonna exist anymore. Um, it's in the process of being destroyed. I think we're gonna see this in January, but I'm being shown the I'm being shown all the candles being put out. So, what I was told is that the United States is stepping into a severe dark night of the soul. and that it's going to be hard, um, to find light. I was told that it's about to become the wild, wild west and that there's an active suppression of light. Um, I think they're gonna send an antidote through me as well, but I just have to deliver the message as it is. I was told that the collective timelines are about to be, they're about to take a turn for the worst. I really do want you guys to know these are not spiritual messages I typically get. My guides are very, very positive. They're very positive and very uplifting. So for me to hear all of this upon waking up this morning, I was like, "That's a really big deal. It's a big impact," because my guides don't ever deliver messages that are dark. So there's, a raw truth behind it that's just, like, something that we have to understand that there's a reality behind, again, whether it's a locked-in timeline for January that we're all gonna experience or whether the higher forces are trying to dissolve those timelines. Regardless, there's a truth, and the truth is that the light collective is being eliminated completely, and we're getting a heads up before the attack happens, essentially, spiritually. And I do believe it's going to be an emotional attack. And what I was told, the heading I put on the stream was human rights because that's what's coming through. So, oh god, this stuff makes me want to just vomit and cry at the same time. Um, all right, let me just keep streaming. Hopefully, this is helpful for you guys in one way or another. I mean, I'm here to deliver it regardless, right? They told me, "Don't be scared, but buckle up because it's gonna be a rough ride, and get prepared because you're all unprepared," is what I was told. What's on the line are gay rights and the ability to choose who you love and freedom of speech. They told me, "Appreciate your freedom to speak freely because that's not going to be the case for very long. And hold on to the hearts of anyone who's gay." This shit's just, like, terrifying, honestly. I don't know the laws, I don't know the legalities, I don't know what's going on, but the first attacks are on your ability to choose who you wanna love. I don't know how that's gonna happen or how it affects the whole country, but gay rights are going to be removed. So, that is the heart of the idea within the collective that is, the it's essentially emotional stability. It's your right to choose who you wanna love, and that affects everyone in the country. Absolutely everyone. It's a first act of suppression on the heart. And then right behind that, my guides weren't specific on how or what this is gonna look like, but they said freedom of speech is on the line. They said it's on the line. And they told me very actively, they said, "Appreciate your freedom of speech because it's not gonna be there forever." Again, I pray that these timelines are dissolved, removed, or whatever needs to happen, but that's what I was told. The ability to harvest light cosmically is going to be more difficult. So, those of you that are doing light work, we get our light cosmically, generally speaking, through our crown chakras, and then we draw that light into our bodies. That is going to be because of whatever these attacks are going to be politically. The ability to harvest light cosmically is going to be very, very, very difficult. Let me think about how else to explain that. Um, the collective is going to be so suppressed that it's almost going to shut down aspects of the higher light body, like to the point where people may not have access to their higher light bodies. There's always an antidote to this stuff, but I have to communicate it as it needs to come through, okay? The way that you're gonna have to work your light, I am an expert in this work, which is why probably they're sending it through me, is that when you can't access your light body cosmically, you have to develop your light body internally from your shadow. So what that's about is you're gonna have to learn how to source your power, identify to the power in your body. Power, raw power generally comes from trauma, it comes from adversity, it comes from really, really difficult experiences. Now, with an attack on the collective, excuse me. Oh my god. Coming through like this, it would create such a level of trauma and raw power that there's the ability to then, for each of us individually, to be able to convert that power through personal transformation, pressure, heat, personal development to be able to access our light from the inside, from our gut instinct, from our primal nature, not cosmically. So it comes in through the root chakra, it comes up through the bottom chakras. So we're all going to have to essentially be very, very grounded because we're not going to have access to the higher light bodies unless we can. How do I explain this? There are two ways to work light. There's most of it's cosmic. Most of you are doing cosmic work. The only people that have to do the work that I'm describing that I've had to do are the ones that have had severe trauma to the point where it damaged the light body and we had to figure out how to come up from the ground. Um, how to come up from adversity without getting hurt. You will always have access to light, but the paths through which you travel to get access to that light differ depending on warlike territory. Like, for example, they're showing me like etherically, like if an entire country is shut down, and by country they just mean a big access of the energetics in the fourth dimensional psychic field, you can no longer navigate it. You have to find another route. Most people are accessing their light through their crown. You can access it through other chakras. You can actually develop it as a human. Um, it does take work and it is very painful. So I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It comes from transmuting your shadow, going into the dungeons, hanging out with your skeletons, and learning how to. How do you guys want to explain this? It's a level of darkness mastery with the intention of transmutation for light. So it's not darkness for the sake of darkness. It's not shadow for the sake of shadow. Um, it's darkness for the sake of understanding that it's raw power to transmute into light because you don't have access to the light in another way. I mean, it's like if we think about Persephone, it's going into the underworld. It's being stuck into the underworld for 6 months and trying to figure out, how do I still maintain my hope? How do I maintain my love when I'm surrounded by they're saying foolishness. I think they're being gentle with me. They're feeding some things in, but I want you guys to know I fought them all day on delivering these messages. I was like, "I don't know, God. I don't know." And they're telling me, they're like, "Oh, we're working through the energetics now. We understand why you pushed back." I'm like, "Well, maybe you should listen to me." The goal of the stream was to just relax the minds and hearts and souls of the collective that we're going to be moving through some version of this. So this is like a preemptive transmission, transmutation, softening of the heart chakra. Because if you know that a big blow is going to come, there's like a softening of the heart space, an appreciation, a love of what you have. And then there's a certain level of, it's not guarded, but there's a certain level of armor that's gonna be going up for each and every one of you that is actually going to be implanted by your own angelics, your angelic teams, to keep your heart soft but protected. And something that I hear a lot in, spiritual talk online and stuff is, like, keeping the feminine heart space open, even if you're masculine. Like, open to the point where you're just cosmically open, like, don't ever be guarded, um, be soft, we're in soft girl era, and I have really done my work on my divine masculine and divine feminine. I have done my work on keeping my heart soft and open, and I can promise you it gets trampled over. So anyone saying that a woman shouldn't protect her heart or a man that is soft and sweet shouldn't protect his heart is insane. It's insane. There's a reason why hearts do need to be protected. I'm not using the word guarded because I think a guarded heart is a hardened heart. And I think the goal, and it's challenging but doable, is to keep a soft heart, an empathetic heart, a sweet heart, but not to wear it on your sleeve. Um, I've learned that one the hard way a lot. Keep it soft, but keep it protected. Our higher angelics will protect our hearts for us, and they're telling me to tell you that the level of hatred that I have had to endure through my lifetime, that they're telling me to tell you that my heart has been held together by God. I have teams of angels assigned to my heart space to keep it soft and open because of what I have had to move through. And they will add armor for us naturally. That armor, um, I guess I hold on, I'm backing up for a second. Around my protection, they were asking me to share that with you guys so that you know that it's not just about being soft and sweet because you have good circumstances. Like, I've been through significant hatred, like, where people have sent me significant hatred to the point where it should have eliminated me off the planet or made me turn dark, and it hasn't because my heart is so heavily protected. You will always be protected if you want to be protected, your heart space will be protected. The softness will be protected. And some of that armor that spirit gives us comes in the form of words, is what I'm being told. It comes in the form of the sword of consciousness. You're given the weapon of your words to protect your heart. The way that they protect your heart is by bringing your attention in the moment to things that don't feel right or that make you angry. Like, for example, I mean, because so many spiritual people think anger is, like, not healthy. I was so angry all day today for no concrete reason, and I checked in with my guides a little bit earlier, with the Akashic records, and I was like, "Why am I so angry?" I was like, "What is going on here? It, like, doesn't make any sense," and they were like, "You need to trust your process." They were like, "That anger is God's protection. That's that outer layer of the heart that is taking the guarding, that's feeling whether it's the collective, whether it's other people around you, whether it's people sending you personally literal hate that is feeling that and then is bolstering and pushing up against it. Um, I think there's a lot of bypassing in what has been the like collective of humanity. Thinking that being spiritual is being a doormat. And if you want to be a doormat, gay rights are going to be out the window as well as your freedom of speech come January. That's what I'm being told. I was told that my stream yesterday was rocking the cradle and throwing all the light workers out of their cribs and saying, "Wake up, babies. Stop being a baby." And this isn't even my language. Like this was spirit like making a joke with me, but it really is that the light workers in the United States, at least, I think across the world, but a lot in this country, have been coddled by spirit. Have been coddled by light collectives, these higher beings, to the point where we don't understand what's at stake. And you can hold the highest frequencies, but then if your body is in a level of war, and I can call it energetic or emotional war, but perhaps some of this is physical. I mean, I think not being able to choose the partner if you're gay or queer, I think that's war. Because if you can't choose love, what's worse than not being able to choose love? So now you can only choose fear, and then other people think that they're not affected by that. It's like, so then everybody has to choose fear. And essentially, that's the The dark night of the soul of the United States that we're walking into is that the country is being forced into a fear matrix, against the will of many of its citizens. And we moved away from love, is what I was being shown, that the entire collective selected fear and the hard way. They told me we went on, I don't know if these are the lowest timelines, but they're the hardest timelines. The United States selected the most pain-based timelines. I'm not saying this stuff to put you guys in fear either. I literally am just calling out what I've been asked to deliver. I would hope that you can move through your own personal fears and find that place of security within your own heart to know that you will be safe when you use your voice and you protect yourself and others and you continually be the example of love. And love is not a fucking doormat. Love is a warrior. I have no way of getting around this. Like, I keep hearing around the collective too. Like, there's so many people on YouTube and Instagram and stuff, um, that are like, "Women, stay sweet, like trad wife," like all this stuff. And I'm like, "Oh my God, do you have any idea what's coming?" We need warriors. Like, we need warriors. So Spirit's saying, get out of the crib, get out of the cradle. You don't have an option to be a baby anymore. If you wanna be a baby, you're deciding to be unprotected because there is no more collective to hold you together. That's the point. The light collective, the millions of light workers that create a psychic consciousness that we all kind of lean on, um, that we all benefit from is being destroyed as we speak. It is being lit on fire. It's happening in such a way though. Let me look at it. It's so suggestive. Let me think about how to explain this. It's a real trick. It's a mind trick. Okay, so they're showing me, you know how like frogs, if you put them in boiling water, obviously they're gonna like hop out. But if you put them in the water and you keep the water at room temperature and then you slowly boil it, they'll die in the pot. I hate to use that example, but that is what's happening at the Light Collective right now. So there's something about how the darkness is starting to work through the energy. Um, Hold on. They're giving me language, but sometimes spirit gives me language that I really can't work with on a stream, on a live. Let me just ask them to unpack it a little bit. Predatory. That's a good word. It's a predatory energy. So it's priming the victims or priming the subjects. In this case, priming the Light Collective as a whole. In a predatory way. So there's a forward-facing warmth, and I'm gonna put warmth in quotes because it's not real warmth, because real warmth, real nurturing would never have a hidden agenda. It's forwardly sweet, forwardly nice, it's virtue signaling. Whatever that means to you, I don't know if this is a person in your life perhaps, is what I'm being told, or it's like a group that you're in. This is showing up for all of us in different ways. There's a forward-facing sweetness to cover up the alternate agenda. That is predatory behavior. There's an active seeking to turn light workers over to dark workers. So I had an encounter last week that I've been getting downloads on all week that I've just been like, I mean, I'm crushing it, but it's annoying. Someone tried to turn my heart over and I was like, you don't even have that permission. Do you have any idea? Like that puts you in war territory with my guides. um But it's like what people are doing is they're being f they're being really nice upfront, and then you're like, "Oh, they're nice. Oh, Tom would never do that. Oh, Jack would never do that. Mary, no, she's great." And then behind closed doors, these MFers are, like, performing magic tricks, like, it just doing black magic work is how I would describe it. What it is the dark triad, generally speaking, it's psychological manipulation, okay? Generally speaking, it's narcissists, psychopaths. Sociopaths, for those of you that don't know, there are a lot of them in the collective, and they are the ones that are working the dark collective. So if we have a light collective, then there's like a middle ground, like psychic collectives, and then there's a dark collective. And the light collective, you guys see just how hard we work to be empathetic, to love, to spread authenticity, to help people heal. The dark collective is working just as hard, okay, to turn the whole country over to dark. They work just as hard as we do, except they're more willing to take more risks and they're ruthless, you guys. Now, when you're ruthless, to give you the antidote, the dark collective, for them to be ruthless, when they go select a target or attack or choose to attack in that way, they leave their shadow open for us to do our work. A lot of people don't know that because light workers just, a lot of people just like to roll over. We can't do it anymore. Like, you have to be on self-defense. You have to be on defense of people around you. You're gonna have to learn how to do it. I'm not gonna cover it all in this stream. This is just the PSA intro work. Um, the dark collective is the dark triad psychologically. So the dark collective are all of the dark workers that are filled with the criminals, the psychopaths, the sociopaths, and the narcissists. The narcissistic sociopaths. It's actually a big portion of the population. I don't know how much, I'm not gonna quote exactly, but I'm being shown like 20% ish. Um, what's the light collective? The light collective might be around the same, maybe a little bit smaller. So for you to understand, if we are playing a sport, we've got team dark and team light. There's also a team in the middle that are a bunch of sheeple that have no understanding of, like, empathy and energy. I don't know how else to describe that. So, in this energetic war, spiritual war, it's like, "Okay, well, who's doing draft picks?" Um, and the Dark Collective has a heads up right now, more than a heads up, they have advantage. So what Spirit is delivering through this transmission is Lightworker first person advantage. So before all hell breaks loose, Spirit was like, please get the codes out. Get the light codes out to the Light Collective so that they can start preparing emotionally, so they can start understanding what's coming, so they can start looking out for their families and friends, so they can start having a really discerning eye as far as who belongs in their life and who doesn't. A lot of you are going to be pitching people out of your lives. I can't beat around the bush with that. That's being shown to me really clearly right now. There are people that are playing nice with you that will turn dark later. That will be highly problematic for you and your consciousness later, that will undermine you later. Don't underestimate someone's power to get into your heart space. And then once they're in there, to psychologically manipulate you through your heart. I don't know how else to say that. It's a really dark aspect of humanity. Um, I didn't anticipate talking about dark psychology a lot, but I'm starting to understand. I think I'm going to have to start talking about dark psychology to educate you guys as much as I can and do whatever research you'd like as well. Um, okay. I do have a lot of silver lining stuff coming through as well. I don't quite want to go there yet because I so easily can just flip this right into a light happy stream. But I think there's a little more here for me to dive into in this specific energy. And thank you guys for being in here. Oh, Doug, I'm just seeing your content. I feel like our higher self sent us in the timeline to fight for truth. Yes. Yeah, I agree with you because I was a little surprised too. I was like, we won't go into the specifics, but I think so. I think so. We had to learn how to fight and or we're learning how to fight, right? Um, Assassin's Creed vibes coming up, and that's bringing that to the forefront. Yeah, Dylan, I understand this is in the consciousness. Could a cradle also be a big city? Ah, maybe. The way that they were showing me the cradle is each light worker individually that we've been coddled by spirit, and they're telling me it takes someone who has really been through it the way I have to be able to actually just kinda they're showing me, like, I'm taking all the sand that's I don't know, it, like, looks like a crazy chaotic beach, and I'm, like, ruffling it out, like, smoothing it out, going, "Look, look, look, it's gonna be okay." But there just is nothing easy about going from the cradle to a war. Like, there's just nothing easy about it. Most of you are unprepared because who the hell would wanna do the type of work that I've had to do? It's, like, not fun. It's not fun. I did it out of necessity, but I'm happy to pave the way in any way that I can. Dark collective, light collective, borderlines, NPCs. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Stephanie just dusted off my armor. Yeah. Ready to suit up. Girl, you're already suited up when spirit says it's go time. Yeah, I will not give anyone my power. Yeah, me neither. Like we're so not here for it. The thing about the power though, where spirit wants they want my attention. I'll try literally I'm going to be doing podcast episodes and streams as much as I can to fill in the gaps wherever spirit wants me to. Is that it's not oh my gosh, that flip was done on purpose. It's always not a choice. It's not a choice. You're not choosing to give up your power. It's stolen through backhanded manipulative ways, through dark psychological tactics. They're telling me that it's done through hacking the emotional body of the sweetest parts of the country, like attacking the heart of who we can choose to love or not love is a dark psychological attack that automatically gives up a power, and that's where we have to be very knowledgeable. Let me check in with them how because it's I really had to fight last week to not give my power up. Like there were some ways of how my energy was worked around me and I caught it in real time and I addressed it in real time. The easiest way we can address these things quickly is your voice. I promise you, your voice carries so much power. If something doesn't feel good, doesn't feel right, feels fishy in the moment, and you say something, you automatically change the timelines. It's really, really incredible. And then the more you use your voice, the more you speak your truth, the more you clean up all the energy on the timelines without having to sit and meditate and do tons of energy work. Your voice it clears energy. And you can always call your power back. But I think the guidance here is to be careful about how you could be manipulated, more mindful around how you feel. And make sure that you're surrounded by people you trust because something I was told is to is be real careful about who you trust moving forward. Like, you guys are gonna be auditing I mean, maybe you won't be, but truly where this is gonna go is that we all need to be auditing the people around us now. Um, you wanna know who's on your side, who's not, who's in neutral territory that'll be turned over. They're telling me Nazi Germany. I didn't even wanna bring it up, but it's being brought forward. So it's like you don't quite know who's around you that's like you because there are a lot of people faking a lot of different agendas. And it's going to be up to us to use our psychic prowess, our psychic development to develop the sword of discernment as a weapon to be able to understand who you are and to cut people out that are not going to be within your highest service or highest timelines. They're telling me you're going to have to cut out weak links. And again, I know this isn't a popular message, and I'm kind of sorry, but those of you that need the preparation need it. Okay, let me just I'm not gonna lie, every time I read this statement, "The Light Collective is being destroyed," I just, oh god, I can feel it in my energy. Um, they asked me to share a story with you guys, so I'm not gonna go into detail, but, um, when I went into my first dark night, It was really, really, really traumatic for me. Um, I was driving, I got out of my car, and I heard Gabriel's horn. I don't typically align with Christianity in general, but I did grow up Catholic, and then I left the religion. So, I'm saying that as a precursor to understand the context of Gabriel. It's not that I had any affinity towards him or anything, it was just that it's almost like the only way it could be reached was through, that angelic realm, the archangels. But I heard Gabriel's horn to the degree that it was not in my mind, like, I heard it in my ear, and then I remember there was somebody, like, on the corner next to me, and I was like, "Did you hear that?" And they were like, "What?" I was like, "That horn," and they were like, "No," and I knew that it was Gabriel's horn, and I knew and this was the start of my massive dark night. I got an entire download in the moment. I was spiritual, but and psychic, but not to the point where I would have understood this, so it was a really rattling experience. It was like I all of a sudden, I knew I was being called to arms, um, and I forget it was on a specific Christian day. It was in May, it was on, like, the I don't know if it was the Day of Reckoning or something, like 2010. It was on a specific day, and it happened in a specific way where I knew I was being called forward into a spiritual warrior status, and I knew that I was being enrolled into a spiritual mission. Um, they're telling me that because this stream is is the Gabriel's horn to my story. This is the call, like, you are being called. Now, something my guides told me earlier today too, because there are different warriors, different light workers. And I watch a lot of different people on YouTube and around the internet just to, like, see where the different I don't know, where people resonate, I guess. With light working territory, and those that follow me tend to be more in, like, the really intense side of the mission. Um, so what I heard today, like, my guides described me as a paratrooper if it was the military, or like a Navy SEAL, but they typically call me a paratrooper. And they said the people that I lead or that resonate with me are typically also that level of intensity. We're on deeper missions. Um Part of scenarios like that, if we look at the military comparison, paratroopers and Navy SEALs prepare for anything. They prepare for everything because they're dropped into scenarios where they don't know. It's the unknown. They don't know what's going to happen, but they know what their mission is. They know what their checkpoints are. They're prepared the most. They're given the most amount of skills, the most amount of training. They are the most versatile. They're not really great at one thing. They're amazing at a lot of different things because they have to be. They have to be survivalists, they have to be great at combat, they have to be great at hand-to-hand combat. Maybe they also fly planes or, there are so many different scenarios, and I don't have experience with the military, um, but my guides always bring it back to, like, that to kinda ground it, to understand spiritual mission work, and to understand the sorts of people that generally resonate with me. Like, we are the more intense side of the collective, and we do have a little more responsibility because we've been trained more by spirit. We have a more intense training, we have more abilities, and we have more protection, if I can be honest. Um, excuse me, I'm just moving all this energy through. Uh, what my guides did say is that this entire stream was trying to soften the blow of this information by showing you that you do have support in the angelic frequencies. You have support of your highest capabilities, your oversoul. I work a lot with the oversoul and the higher self, your higher power. Oh, yeah, here's the note they said to me, "Be very careful who you trust. Nice does not mean nice, and mean does not mean mean. Monitor what you see in people. What are the green flags? What are the red flags? And monitor the in between. What do you feel? And what do you know? intuitively without the information and trust that. And don't give up your hand either. Like, if someone's being nice and sweet and you're feeling something else and you're like, "Wow, they are devious," don't give that up. Hold that back and allow them to do whatever they're gonna do and hold your cards back. You're not meant to show oh gosh, let me think about how to explain this. That's being used for your own personal defense, don't give it away. What they were saying to me is enemies might look tantalizing and so soft and warm and sweet, but on the inside, they're ready to convert your light into a dark matrix. It's like an assassination, essentially. At the Light Collective, it's a turning over to a dark flowering, I believe is what it's called. It's a reverse ascension process in the heart. Um, as long as you align with yourself, I mean, I truly believe we are all protected. I feel this message, even though I didn't want to deliver it, is protection. You know? So, I mean, I'll probably do many other streams on silver linings and how positive this can be because I truly think it is. It's just like I'm in the middle of this right now. I'm just reading through my notes, you guys. Just give me one sec. The value is going to leave the material plane. Like, it's why yesterday the guides were saying to start paring down. There's going to be so much less value in the material because when the heart space is attacked at the way that I've described, and when we have less access to light through our crown, we're going to care a whole lot less about how many cars we have in the driveway. And we're going to care a whole lot more about the people we love. What's in front of you? Who are you? How lucky are you to be alive? And how lucky are you to love the people that you love? It's gonna be very, very humanitarian. And I think there's been a really big level of fantastical escapism in this country around consumerism, where people have false security in thinking that, like, if you have a nice home, you got a nice car, you got an I don't even know, like things, objects that you're protected from the tower moments and the psychological damage that's about to be done to humanity. And you're not. Material things don't protect you. A really pure sacred heart protects you. A really pure connection to source. The understanding that you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. You're gonna have to do shadow work. There is no more like dancing around the shadow work. Had Kamala gotten in, absolutely. Like, they told me this morning, they were like, "We could have skated up to the higher timelines in humanity that were love-based timelines, and for whatever reason, we chose the really, really difficult pain-based path, the master the what my guides say, like, the master slave archetype." And, yeah, I don't even wanna dive into that, but that's the archetypal pattern if you wanna unpack that for your own, um, journaling or meditation to understand. But yeah, my guides were saying what's really gonna matter is the love of a good man or good woman and a hug. So, that's where we're going. I'm just skimming through the rest of my notes because they came through in such an interesting way this morning. Let's see. So there's something I don't understand what Trump's about to do, but what I was told is that he's about to revoke the right to speak freely. I don't know exactly what that means. I would assume it's not being able to speak against the political party or what have you publicly, and that there might be punishment somehow around that. Again, I just hope to God that this messages like this and prayers from people like us just to eliminate these timelines. Um, I'm not entirely sure, but I was told to appreciate your freedom of speech and to use your voice as much as you possibly can to defend, protect, and love yourself. Self-love comes through the voice. I was forced into suppression, especially vocally when I was younger, when I was a kid. Um, I took like a forced vow of silence that I wouldn't speak about things that were happening in front of me or to me or around me. And it's taken my entire life to exercise my voice and to be comfortable and confident with my voice. So I have the ability to speak from extraordinary experience on just how powerful the voice is, just how protected you are when you use it, and just how much love you can communicate for yourself and for others when you speak. And what's coming through right now is they're reminding me this used to happen to me, it doesn't anymore. But I used to get these knots in my throat and in my upper chest, and I thought I wanted to say something, but then I would have fear around wanting to say the thing. I'd be afraid of the attention, I'd be afraid of retaliation, um, I'd be afraid of what people thought about me, I'd be afraid about whether or not I'd be physically safe in the future, I'd be afraid of I've got a lot of, unfortunately, stalking behaviors towards me in the past. There were a lot of things that would incite that level of fear that then would knot up in my throat, and I wouldn't be able to speak. It's been a long time since I felt this way, but I think they're describing it because that's clearly an experience that some of you have where it's like you almost, like, can't speak, like, quite literally, like, your voice disappears like Ariel and Ursula and in The Little Mermaid, and you have to claim your voice back, and the way that you claim your voice back because your voice is your protection, is by actively even if it's being a pipsqueak, like, that's what my guides have saying. They've been using that term with me a lot. They're like, "You're no longer a pipsqueak." I'm like, "What?" Like, who uses that terminology? Like, what? Who are you? Even if it's being a pipsqueak, like, even if it just like, comes out, even if it comes out weird, like, when I started practicing using my voice, oh my god, it was like a nightmare. Like, I would say shit I didn't mean to say. I would say it in the wrong order. I was like, it was so messy for so many years, and I knew that I just had to do this work, so I bit the bullet and did it anyway. I would just speak anyway because the only way that you're gonna learn how to speak is by speaking, and we learn how to speak more clearly and concisely by speaking, and by making subtle adjustments every time we speak. You're not gonna be able to mentally focus your way there and practice mentally without actually practicing. You have to practice with live audiences. That I mean, frequently is an audience of 1, you and you. No, I mean, like, you and probably another person. Um, and then grows from there. Something that might be helpful for you full oh my gosh, something that might be helpful for you guys as well. I really started exercising my voice in front of groups. So I would trust that impulse when I started to get that knot coming up in my throat. This happened at recovery meetings for me when I first started going years ago, and my yoga groups, um, spaces that I thought were safe for me to communicate what I was thinking or feeling. And whenever I felt that knot come up, I'd feel terrified and I would change my nervous system by instead of suppressing that, I would raise my hand and I would speak anyway. And I would let whatever I needed to say tumble out of my mouth. And I would just say to myself, I'm not going to judge myself for anything I say, for tripping over my words, for stumbling, for not knowing what I needed to say. I would just fucking vomit it out there. And I did that over and over and over again. And what was really, honestly, what was very interesting about that is I never really did vomit the words, even to the point of, I don't know, my Kundalini yoga training. I raised my hand and I don't remember what I said. I said something, I don't know, it was around some topic and it was something that involved me confronting a trauma and I spoke about it. And I had like 15 people come up to me after, including the guru, um, that were like, thank you. Like it was so I delivered it so powerfully. and so concisely, and that is what shocked me because that's when I was kind of around started doing channeling work. Is that when you can trust your voice, you can just trust the channel that's in yourself. We all channel to one degree or another. It's your zone of genius. It's your higher self stepping into your body. Not everyone channels the way that I do, right? Psychically, but everyone has an access to their own channel of being, their own higher self that steps in and then speaks. And we get the opportunity to be the vocal cords for that, uh, to practice using your voice and not terror and fear because the voice is that powerful. I'm just reading the note again. Appreciate your freedom to speak freely and hold on to the hearts of anyone who's gay. Hold on to the hearts of anyone who's gay. I'm going to be offering a lot of support there. I don't know how, but a lot of love is coming from me. This is what my guides also said, ladies and gentlemen. They're getting a little fresh and comical with me too because they know me. So you'll see this more from me in general. But they said, ladies and gentlemen, turn on your engines. This is going to be a rough ride. We hope you're willing to lose your pride. Pride is the enemy. You're about to stare down the enemy and the collective and say, challenge accepted. Bring it on. We are ready to speak and we are ready to fight you and keep our hearts soft and sweet and loving. A lot of people when they start their spiritual work don't realize that both things exist. You can have a soft, open, sweet, vulnerable heart and be guarded and protected. We're going to bring this up because I think it's funny. I got a coffee earlier and I told the guy, I don't know, he asked me, he was like, hot or iced? I was like, hot. I was like, I don't trust ice beverages or something like that. I don't like iced coffee. And he and he was like, would you like some iced coffee recommendations?" And I was like, "No." Like, "Did you just hear me?" And he looked at me just, like, without skipping a beat, it was beautiful. He was like, "Yeah, I got trust issues too." And I said, "Oh, no, no, no. It's not an issue. I just don't trust. I'll trust you if it's been a good amount of evidence in my favor to understand the sort of character you have." And I was like, "But honestly, I don't like iced beverages, so I don't want a recommendation." And he was just laughing with me. It was really cute. Um, allow trust to be built. Trust issues. I'll do a whole stream, probably a podcast episode on trust issues and how I think that that's a weaponization of the heart space, psychologically, and I'm kind of sick of people going into like, "Oh, trust issues. Oh, you don't trust enough." I'm like, "Actually, I think we have a lot of narcissists running psychological behavioral territory in the country, and I think they've programmed everybody to be over vulnerable to the point where they can be emotionally assaulted. I don't think there's anything wrong with not trusting until that trust has been built psychologically, intuitively, practically. Like literally, that's not only okay for anyone that has experienced any level of trauma, steep trauma, big T trauma. Openly trusting without having evidence is a stupid strategy. It will place you in harm's way with more trauma. No judgment. But it doesn't work. It's why we all carry even more trauma and more trauma and more trauma is because nobody taught us how to trust. And the way that you trust is you allow people to build trust with you. That's what secure attachment is. Um, but trusting for the sake of trusting, if you don't have a traumatic upbringing or childhood or don't have trauma in your background in a significant way, then it's a great strategy. But if you do, it's not. There are a lot of things psychologically that happen at the personal development level, even in spiritual development and in psychological development that are so predatory, that I've been working through for years. I don't know how I'm gonna tackle it all yet. I think I'm just gonna talk openly about attachment styles, about trust wounding, and not trying to fix some of the stuff, but actually just trying to build trust from the fact that if you've been hurt or you've been betrayed, rolling it over and just trying to openly trust again is not a great strategy. Like, your nervous system is programmed for betrayal. You're going to find yourself into another betrayal wound. It is inevitable. The only way to actually concretely heal that is to practice self-trust over the trust of others. So, do people like me have trust issues? No, I trust myself way more than I trust you. I know me better, and I can tell you that that strategy has been working for me so effing well. It's proven to me almost daily. Like, even today, I had a conversation with someone where, oh, like, no offense, I don't trust this. I don't trust you in this way. I trust my body. This had to do with an activity. I was like, I trust my body. I trust this, and I know that I will be hyperextended, and I know that this will cause an injury if I continue to do it in this way, even though you're recommending it. And I was like, "You're not the expert of my body. I'm the expert of my body, and that doesn't mean I have a trust issue. It means you're not my body. How could you possibly know?" And then we'll take it to another level. This was a man. I was like, "And you don't have a woman's body. How could you possibly know?" Can't. Trust yourself, trust your body, trust your experience, build trust with yourself. I hope you trust yourself more than you trust anybody else. I just saw 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 on the timer as I said that. So take that. Also, this baby feels safe. I told her I was going on stream and streaming a difficult topic, and she went and ran and plopped up on my bed. She was like, "I'm out of here." I was like, "Good for you, but you feel good, huh? Do you need a walk? I'm probably gonna have to go soon." So the dog coming on screen tells me that the energy was cleared because she's got the most magical energy. Yes. I love that, Stephanie. It's not a trust issue. Puppy! She's my favorite. I need a dog like you, but I love sitting. Okay. Okay, but maybe move out of frame. No? Okay. Go somewhere. Go somewhere. Get a frame. I'm just gonna ask the Akashic Records if there's anything else they want to share. All right. All right. I see you. Do you want to talk to them? You know what she's like? She's going, "You're safe, guys. You're safe." I have telepathic communication with all the animals that hang out with me, and this one is no exception. What do you want to say? Tell them they cleared the past through this conversation, is what she said. They're safe. This was a big clearing energy. It cleared the timelines of potential reality. How this pans out, I don't know. That's why I don't like doing predictive stuff, but okay, hang out. You clearly need to use the restroom, but Akashic Records, anything else you guys want to share? Oh, they're like, share how much you care about your community. I adore you guys. I appreciate you being here with me, for me, listening on your behalf and the behalf of my expression and everybody who hears or encounters this work or benefits from this work. Thank you for your flexibility in how I've handled this session because this was a little bit of a harder topic for me. Your cat came in. Yes. Yeti code, Dylan. Yeah. Oh my God. Wait, did you take Yeti code? Yeah, it is the Yeti code. It's primal. pri- Did you just lick my mic? It's primal animal intelligence. Okay. I think this is my entrance and exit. Is there anything else you'd like to share with my people? I love her. She's like, "You got masters in the room, Emelina, Stormy." Yeah? She's giving me props. You're giving me props. Oh, I love animals. Yeah, they're telling me everything was handled. What I would say for you guys, those of you that do your own meditation practice, kind of sit with this if you'd like to, and ask your oversoul and your higher self to come in and step into your space to merge with you, and to deliver any okay, come on. to to deliver any remaining messages for you that would help you to prepare in any way that would be the most beneficial for you. I truly believe that we are all given exactly what we need when we need it, and that we are protected in the ways that are the most helpful for us. So, your level of preparation might be emotional preparation, it might be just like paring down some stuff you don't need. It might be focusing on your investments, it might be starting a business, like, for everyone, it's gonna be a little bit different. It's just whatever way is gonna help you feel like you control your life a little bit more and that you feel more prepared for what's going to be an emotional upheaval and unrest at the collective and less access to light. It doesn't mean you won't have access to your light. It just means the support of the collective that's been built over time is no longer going to be in existence. That's being told to me very clearly. So there's less collective support, there's gonna be borderline no collective support, so it's kind of like if you watch the video from yesterday, they were showing us all in these little tents, and then the interdependence of all the tents kinda working together. So instead of us relying on the psychic collective, of light that's been holding us together the crystalline oh my god. I was just, like, hit over the head with that download. Oh, wow. The crystalline light body of the collective is being destroyed. Um, Oh. That's Christ consciousness. That's the, like it's the crystalline structure, it's the indigo structure. I do think there are a lot of rainbow frequencies on the planet. I'm not seeing that being destroyed, so essentially what we could do is vibrate up a notch, move into the rainbow body, which actually the Yeti code I think I might have a link in the description below for the Yeti code, that was the 1111 portal. Goes into the rainbow light body, building the rainbow light body and anchoring the rainbow light body into the body. Uh, yeah, it's the rain so we're gonna be working with the rainbow light body. So, essentially, everybody has to individually elevate into their rainbow light body and anchor their rainbow light body into their body. However, they're gonna do that. Some of you might be able to do that cosmically through your crown now. So that's why Spirit's giving you a heads up. You can ask for that. I used to do it more cosmically. Now I bring the rainbow light body in through my body, through my cellular structure and my cellular memory. If you guys want more details on that, the 1111 portal, the Yeti code on my website does go through that. It goes through the rainbow light body ascension. Uh, what is that? They're showing me Nirvana, but oh, Shambhala through the Shambhala codes in Tibetan folklore. Okay, I gotta take care of this puppy. That's what I got. Thank you so much, you guys, as always, for joining me and for being with this message. Meditate with it, do some journaling, do your own prep, and trust that you'll be provided for in the way that you need. Remember to use your voice, start getting grounded, and realize that all of the cradles were turned over. There's no more being babied spiritually. There's the reality of what it is to be a spiritual human, which is to be at this point we're at a level of warriorship that's not going away. So that's what we got. Thank you for joining me again. I have so much love for you guys. Happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, happy Black Friday weekend. Check out the joy code. Oh my god, joy code. The Joyride 30-day meditation album. That's linked in the description below as well. All the things. If you'd like to dive deeper with me and you enjoy working with me or want to work with me, I've got tons of links below, mini courses, Money Recoded, the 8-week program we're starting officially next week. Um, developing and working with your relationship with money energetically and all the things. That's what I got. Okay, you guys, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for streaming. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your attention. That's what I got. Okay, I will see you guys soon. Lots of love from me and the bear. Okay, bye.